Hello. In this quick hit, we will discuss and demonstrate how workflow automation with Quickbase and pipelines help generate, populate, and execute documents. I'll present you some ideas on how to boost productivity, integrating your document creation, management, and approval tool with your Quickbase app or some other third-party data point. My name is Stanisława, Stasia for short. I joined Quickbase about 2 years ago with the acquisition of Cloud Pipes. This is an iPaaS solution that is now known as Pipelines, and it's the integration and workflow automation capability of Quickbase. I started with Cloud Pipes from its very beginning about 6 years ago. I totally love the platform, and now as a product owner for Pipelines, I not only see, but also help develop and realize the potential of it being part of Quickbase, build up to its power and keep unlocking new possibilities, inspire you to experiment and realize your process improvement ideas. In this quick hit, you'll learn how to work with document management channels in pipelines, including the philosophy behind them, the concepts, the tool set that's provided. The demo uses Docusign channel, but you can apply the concepts to other document management channels, like similar workflows of document creation out of a template customized by dynamic data input from Quickbase are possible with the FormStack documents as well. However, please take into consideration that the two channels have their peculiarities in their document execution flows. The terminology is different. So if you're already acquainted with the services themselves, I hope that the way their functionality is represented in pipelines will be easy to use and consistent with what is exposed in their UI. If not, I'd really highly recommend spending some time to get used to the concepts of the service in advance, because I'm not really going to talk in many details about how they work, like Docusign itself. A good understanding of Quickbase pipelines and Docusign will help you go through the content of this quick hit. However, if it's the first time for you with any of these, I still believe you could benefit and grasp the overall idea. And later, if the concept seems appealing, applicable in your situation, just sign in for trials and try build some test use cases your own. Our agenda, we'll talk about automating document management in general. For an example, we'll take an HR hiring process and zooming into it, the candidate approval flow, where the documents are actually being created. We will see how pipelines provides a solution for this, and have our key takeaways again. Let's dive into it. We have a repeatable, for the most part, pattern of devising documents that are an output of certain processes within the organization, be it a contract, an offer, a leave request, customer holiday season greetings. There are a lot of documents produced daily. We need to get specific at points. We need to insert the proper numbers, add personalized content, leave room for arbitrary human input, and then sign, request approval, store. Automating parts, if not the whole of the process, will provide consistency, timely creation, reactions, reduce the errors. I will showcase how a standardized template designed to service certain parts of a process will receive input, dynamic, predefined, or manual, and be sent over for signatures to, again, predefined or dynamically selected number of signers. Starting off with the template in Docusign, we will customize the document with information pulled from specific data fields in Quickbase and map respectively to the defined custom fields in the template. We will review a very simple HR interview to hire process that drafts a custom job offer using data from a Quickbase app and sending it over for approval in DocuSign. Again, just as a reminder, this workflow could be accomplished in a similar manner with FormStack documents channel as well. We have Quickbase as our system of record, holding the app of our candidate approval process and pipelines in here, orchestrating and running the whole workflow automation. In DocuSign, we create the template, fill it in with data from Quickbase, and sign and execute it there. Box is our file storage, and we send notifications via MS Teams to our HR team, for example, or SMS with our Twilio channel to the candidate. We could just briefly talk about the process itself. We have candidates being interviewed, sending whatever kind of notifications we need to our HR team. Whenever a candidate is approved, we create a folder in Box for them to keep any related files in there, send an SMS to the candidate to inform them they're moving forward. And at this step, we initiate the process of job offer customization. Here is our template that's been filled in with data and signed by the candidate. Whenever we have the ready signed document, we store it in our Box folder, upload a link to it in the candidate record, again sending notifications, triggering background check process that is, in our case, being performed by an external organization who have access only to our Quickbase. That's where they upload the document when ready. We make sure it's synced to the folder in Box and proceed with the candidate employment. In the next section, we will zoom in the specifics related to the generation, population, and execution of the documents. So we're just interested in the color boxes here. This is the creation of a custom job offer and sending it over for approval. For completeness, we also create our Box folder. The grayed out boxes are out of focus for this session, but there are other quick hits where I talk about handling of files and folders. You could have a look at it. It discusses the importance of keeping files and data separately in a consistent and automated, mostly manner, demonstrating the creation, organization, and monitoring, acting upon changes in files and folders, and the automation of the whole flow. In a similar manner, there's a third quick hit that deals with custom SMS and MS Teams alerts with pipelines. So whenever, again, a candidate passes the interview, the status in Quickbase is updated, triggering the process of a custom job offer creation. Then it's being sent over via DocuSign for approval. The document creation and execution could be just one step more complicated. For those who are more advanced with DocuSign, I need to mention that pipelines also covers the use case when a document or a collection of documents to be signed, it's called an envelope in DocuSign terminology, has more than one signer. DocuSign's concept and UI allow for an envelope to have an arbitrary number of signers As well, defined order in which they should sign the documents. Each signer there could have their own specific custom fields they need to fill in, or just be informed and agree to if pre-filled for them. This structure is also reflected in pipelines. All signers with their respective custom fields could be seen and used in pipeline steps. Something important I need to mention here, if you're changing the structure of the document, the number of signers, the custom fields, in the process of building up the workflow in pipelines, please make sure to refresh the schema and possibly the pipelines page itself. In some cases, to properly load and reflect all the changes, you may need to drag and drop the steps again. Let's see how the solution in pipelines looks like. What do we need in advance before we start? We need Docusign, we need an account, and please make sure that your account supports API connectivity. It's not by default. Docusign Connect should be available and enabled there. Then you need a template. You could just start with a simple template to test with, like the one I'll be showing in a while. And the custom fields, depending on the number of signers in the process and in the template, you design the specific custom fields for their roles. Just try it out, utilize and control the mandatory and read-only selections for these fields. There are a lot of opportunities there. You need a box account with proper access rights connected. And of course, Quickbase app with the respective fields to be mapped to the Docusign template. And pipelines access with Docusign and Box channels connected. An example app, similar to the one that I'm using and I'm about to show you, you could find and download from Exchange. There's also an appendix to this quick hit with additional information and some hints related to this workflow. And there's a link to the app as well. Again, just to remind, a specific use case, we are working with Docusign, but you could also do similar workflows with the FormStack documents channel. So let's go to the demo. Here is our Quickbase app, holding all the candidates that are right now being in the process of applying. We are using the Kanban view to easily or visually work with them, move them from one phase of the process to another with just simple drag and drop. Moving them forward means that we are changing their status. If I could show you here, we are changing the status when the candidate progresses in their application. This is important because this is what we are later on triggering in our pipelines. Then we have our box folder with an HR employment track folder and the candidates where we will be creating the folders for each one of them as soon as they pass their interview. And here's Docusign. Let's just quickly go through the templates that we've created. We have two templates. One is with just a single signer, our applicant, the candidate. Pretty simple one. Here we see the role predefined that we will later on also see in the pipeline itself in the fields. And here's how the template itself looks like. We have single row, just the candidate, and here are the custom fields that I've created for this candidate. Drag and drop, we place them right where we need them. Again, there are some specifics you want to try. Some of the fields you may mark as required and or read-only. For example, I just left one here is neither required, not read-only. The candidate's name is required, but not read-only, because say we made a mistake, we allow the candidate to correct it themselves, so they are allowed to have access to this field to edit, while the position and the salary are both required and not read-only. Here is the place to sign. And our pipelines, the first use case, later on I'll go through how it looks like when we have more than one signer. So the use case where we have just a single one, we have the candidate. We are triggering on a record updated in Quickbase. Status is changed. We select some fields out of this record to be used in subsequent steps, checking if the candidate's approved. And here is where the magic happens. Here is where we populate our template for the single signer with the fields that we expose from our trigger in Quickbase. Drag and drop and some free text. We could customize the subject of the email that we are sending. We see all the custom fields that we have created for them. And again, drag and drop, we place them where we need them. An important thing here is that we link the Quickbase record, our candidate, to the documents, to the envelope that we are sending over. And it's important because later on in other pipelines, in other phases of our workflow, we may need to fetch and act upon changes. Like, for example, if they sign the envelope, we want to be informed and then act upon this. So it's important to know, to have this connection between the two. Just quickly going over the process of creation of a folder. In the other quick hit about file management, you could see it in more details. But here just we are looking up the parent folder in which, like in this case, the candidates folder, in which we are going to create a specific one under the name of the candidate from step A. Again, linking them so that we are able to sync all the files that we need moving forward. This is how it looks like. Let's go through it and see how it works. We are waiting for a record updated in our Quickbase app. Let's say we have Solomon Graves just been approved. Our pipeline is running. Here we see the resources being linked, the folder in which we created the one under his name. This is our trigger. And this is the step at which the envelope is being prepared and sent for signatures. Let's see what happened. In our box folder, we have created Solomon Graves, and in his email, he received a job offer. Let's see how it looks like. The email was customized. The subject was customized. Here we see the required but not read-only field. Here is the optional one. We completely deleted. And these are the ones that we're just being informed of. Now we could sign and finish. Let me quickly show you the use case where we have more than one signer. Here is how the template looks like. We have two recipients, the recruiter, me, and the candidate, John. Here is the place where we set signing order. We say that it's first the recruiter to receive and sign the documents, then it goes to the candidate. That means that all the custom fields that we've prepared for the specific recipient will be first visible to them. They sign and approve, and then we fill in the next one. Let's see how it looks like in the template itself. Now we have two recipients, switching between them. The colors of the custom fields are also changing. And again, drag and drop, we place the fields where we need them to be for the specific candidate. We say that the yellow ones, they belong to Stasha, the recruiter, and the blue ones are for the candidate. Again, required read-only, however we need them. The pipeline itself, absolutely the same way we start triggering. The difference is here. We select the proper template, and then we see that we have exposed the custom fields for John and Stasha, respectively. Candidate name, candidate position that are relevant to John, and for the recruiter, the HR manager custom field, candidate department. We have here pre-populated fields that come from DocuSign. We could override them if we need to. We won't be running through this one. Works in a similar manner. What did we learn? Automating document generation and execution is possible and powerful, maybe not trivial. The preparation is important. So please check your DocuSign account for API connectivity. Work on the template design and setup in DocuSign. The number and the order of all the signers with their respective custom fields is set in DocuSign template UI. They are later visible in pipelines. It's not possible to set and to create them in pipelines. The custom field setup, they are attributed to each and visible only to the specific signer when they receive them. Fields can have predefined values set in DocuSign UI that could be later overridden by pipelines, like the sender email, role, subject, and the email subject. If changes to the template are made while designing the pipeline, schema and pipeline page should be refreshed so the new setup is reflected. You need a Quickbase app, you need a Box account, and in the appendix, you could see a bit more information and hints how to work with DocuSign, plus a link to this example app that we're using in Quickbase. Thank you very much. I hope this was helpful.